So, a good evening and warm welcome to Cittaviveka Buddhist Monastery and the Sunday evening guided meditation. Tonight I thought we would try a way of using meditation and also the practice of chanting in order to evaluate or review our practice using especially the calming side of meditation in order to see, review our more general view of the practice, how the actions of the day affects the mind, and we use the calming practice as a mirror for that, and also to combine that with reflections from one of the chants. So today I thought we'll use the Mangala Sutta and to use some of those phrases in order to evaluate how what we do, how we live, how we go about our days affects our minds, and to make that clear in a combination of reflective and calming practices. So one of the I thought we'll start with one of the chants called the Dedication of Offerings, which is on page 2 in the dark brown chanting book, and also to just immediately start with this practice of reflecting on how our actions affect our mind states. One of the lines in the Mangala Sutta says, respectfulness and being of humble ways. So when we do the dedication of offerings, which contains lines, expressions of respect towards the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, at the same time to observe how, if we take up a respectful, appreciative, grateful attitude, how that affects our minds and how that prepares or can prepare the mind for calming meditation. So we're starting on page 2 in the dark brown chanting book.
To the Blessed One, the Lord, who fully attained perfect enlightenment, to the teaching which he expounded so well, and to the Blessed One's disciples who had practiced well. To these the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha, we render with offerings our rightful homage. It is well for us that the Blessed One, having attained liberation, still had compassion for later generations. May these simple offerings be accepted for our long-lasting benefit and for the happiness it gives us. The Lord, the perfectly enlightened and Blessed One, I render homage to the Buddha, the Blessed One. The teaching so completely explained by him, I bow to the Dhamma. The Blessed One's disciples who have practiced well, I bow to the Sangha. Now let us pay preliminary homage to the Buddha. Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened One. Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened One. Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened One.
Now we can go to page 46 in the dark brown chanting book, the highest blessings. Now let us chant the verses on the highest blessings. Thus have I heard that the Blessed One was staying at Savatthi, residing at the Chithurst grove in Anathapindika's park. Then in the dark of the night, a radiant Deva illuminated all Chithurst grove. She bowed down low before the Blessed One. Then standing to one side, she said, Devas are concerned for happiness and ever long for peace. The same is true for humankind. What then are the highest blessings? Avoiding those of foolish ways, associating with the wise, and honoring those worthy of honor. These are the highest blessings. Living in places of suitable kinds, with the fruits of past good deeds,
and guided by the rightful way. These are the highest blessings, accomplished in learning and craftsman skills, with discipline highly trained, and speech that is true and pleasant to hear. These are the highest blessings, providing for mother and father support, and cherishing family, and ways of work that harm no being. These are the highest blessings, generosity and a righteous life, offering help to relatives and kin, and acting in ways that leave no blame. These are the highest blessings, steadfast in restraint, and shunning evil ways, avoiding intoxicants that dull the mind, and heedfulness in all things that arise. These are the highest blessings, respectfulness and being of humble ways, gratitude, adhering the Dhamma frequently taught. These are the highest blessings, patience and willingness to accept one's faults, seeing venerated seekers of the truth, and sharing often the words of Dhamma. These are the highest blessings, ardent, committed to the holy life, seeing for oneself the noble truths, and the realization of Nibbana. These are the highest blessings, although in contact with the world, unshaken the mind remains, beyond all sorrow, spotless, secure. These are the highest blessings. They who live by following this path know victory wherever they go, and every place for them is safe. These are the highest blessings.
So please assume a comfortable meditation posture. Try to find a posture which is relatively stable, balanced, and which we can hold for about 40-45 minutes or so without needing to move too much. Of course, if we need to move, that's completely okay as well. Just mindfully, gently. Just settling in, making minor adjustments, making sure the posture is straight, it's balanced. sense of awareness, but still relaxation. Trying to feel at home in this space, in this hall. Tuning into the atmosphere. Tuning into the peace, quiet, calm, stillness. Trying to get a sense or a feel of this stillness in the room. Attune our minds to this stillness, to this calm, to this spiritual atmosphere. Just resting back in that peace. Just seeing how a peaceful place can affect our minds, can affect our states of well-being. Just right here we have the first line from the Mangala Sutta, living in places of suitable kinds. How much of the agitation we bring to meditation is because of our living situation, our surroundings. And can we see the contrast when we come to a place like this, a peaceful place? And of course, here we are surrounded by not only the structure, the place, but also each other. Yes, also recollect how we affect each other, of being around peaceful people, like-minded people who try to develop good qualities of mind. How this can create a sense of safety, appreciation, respect, maybe also hope. Maybe we even take it for granted in a place like this, but we can see the effect that has on our minds. How it allows us to calm down, feel safe. Associating with wise, good people. And perhaps throughout the day we have had many interactions with people, maybe not so calm, not so peaceful, maybe agitated, angry. And how did that affect our minds? How did that affect our how does that affect our meditation right now? Is there thoughts coming up around that? Or was there somebody who made us do something we didn't really want to do, and now we have regret, remorse over this? So avoiding those sort of foolish ways. with this context of a peaceful place, peaceful people, we're able to calm our minds, settle our minds on a meditation object. A good start can always be to take a few very long, calm, deep breaths in order to energize and calm the system. Gently putting our attention on the sensations of the breathing. Trying to follow the breath sensations from the nostrils down to the heart area, further down to the abdomen. Then the reverse from the abdomen up to the heart area, the nostrils. Which can be a very soothing, calming, peaceful abiding. And here we are trying to build up some initial mindfulness, calm down the mind to a certain degree, so that we can build on this, take the next step. So when we do this, it's very common, quite natural, that the mind will stray, put its attention on other thoughts that arise. But today we'll actually try to use that to our advantage. Noticing what kind of thoughts are arising, are drawing our attention. And then using that to review, or evaluate, or look at our broader practice. So what kind of thoughts are you noticing? Can you find any patterns in what trigger those thoughts to arise now? Something that happened during the day? Is there any regret or remorse or similar thoughts arising in the mind, distracting our attention away from the breath? And if there is there anything we can do to develop more skill or handle a situation differently next time, so those thoughts does not need to arise? maybe we said something that wasn't quite true or a bit harsh. And now when we try to calm the mind, this becomes very obvious. Speech that is true and pleasant to hear. Often if we manage to speak like this throughout the day, much easier to calm the mind, for it to settle. So we can use the calming process or the attempt to make the mind more and more peaceful as a way of indicating areas of our practice where we might still need to develop some more qualities. Also, of course, areas where our actions, attitudes are very conducive to peace. trying to catch those thoughts and those memories, regard them as teachers, aids or clues that pop up in the mind to tell us, or to show us, teach us. If we observe and notice, for example, might be various desires in the mind. Can we reflect on contentment, gratitude for what we already have? Or was there something we did during the day that makes these desires churn around in the mind? Learning about ourselves, learning about the mind, conditionality, one thing leads to another. And using the teachings of the Buddha to guide us and show us how we can practice with these things and take them in the direction of skillfulness, wholesomeness, peacefulness. we can finish by chanting the verses of sharing and aspiration on page 33 in English. And here we can also note that there is a change in translation. So it may all cravings and attachments quickly cease. Instead of before it was may all desires and attachments quickly cease.
Now let us chant the verses of sharing and aspiration. Through the goodness that arises from my practice, may my spiritual teachers and guides of great virtue, my mother, my father, and my relatives, the sun and the moon, and all virtuous leaders of the world, may the highest gods and evil forces, celestial beings, guardian spirits of the earth, and the Lord of death, may those who are friendly, indifferent, or hostile, may all beings receive the blessings of my life. May they soon attain the threefold bliss and realize the deathless. Through the goodness that arises from my practice, and through this act of sharing, may all cravings and attachments quickly cease, and all harmful states of mind, until I realize Nibbana in every kind of birth. May I have an upright mind, with mindfulness and wisdom, austerity and vigor. May the forces of delusion not take hold, nor weaken my resolve. The Buddha is my excellent refuge. Unsurpassed is the protection of the Dhamma. The solitary Buddha is my noble guide. The Sangha is my supreme support. Through the supreme power of all these, may darkness and delusion be dispelled.
And we just do the closing homage in English. Page 29.
The Lord, the perfectly enlightened and blessed One, I render homage to the Buddha, the Blessed One. The teaching so completely explained by him, I bow to the Dhamma. The Blessed One's disciples,